YouTube and Snapchat and rumbling fucks. Shake your tits and swing your dicks. You made it to another Friday, and you know what that means. You've landed on another episode of your favorite internet sensation with libation. That's right, it's Friday again, and the Friday wrap-up is back, baby. So, before we get today's show kicked off, I want to tip my hat to today's libation. This cocktail is a Tommy Original. I call this a cold brew martini. Now, it's a riff on an espresso martini. I came up with this on the fly. I didn't have any espresso, so I had some cold brew in the fridge, and I figured, what the hell? Now, this actually is a delightful breakfast drink. That's right, you heard me. You could have cocktails in the morning. Did you ever hear of fucking brunch? So, very simple to make. Take a cocktail shaker, you put a shot and a half of your favorite vodka. I, of course, am using Tito's. And then you add 1 shot each of Kahlua and white chocolate Godiva liqueur. And then, of course, you put about 4 ounces of cold brew coffee. Shake the fuck out of it. And there you go. It even gets that nice little foamy lip at the top. So salud, drink up and be somebody. That is delightful. Creamy, refreshing, and loaded with caffeine as well. So, I hope you all got over your Friday wrap-up withdrawal from last week. You know what they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So, let me explain why I did not broadcast last week. Aside from it being a horrifically shit fucking week, YouTube decided to censor me again. They said I was spreading COVID misinformation. On an episode of the Friday Wrap-Up back on December 3rd, 2021, I said, and I quote, that nobody can make a virus like those Wuhan fucks. And for that, they yanked the episode and prevented me from broadcasting for a week. Now, you see, here's my issue with that. Okay? Let me just explain something. I am not a medical doctor. So I'm not spreading medical misinformation. That's just my opinion based on facts, okay? Matter of fact, they've walked back everything that they originally told us to believe about COVID. The CDC basically came out and said, well, yeah, we were wrong about everything. Okay. So, how the fuck is that medical misinformation, you fucking dummies? Okay? It's fucking censorship, you cunts. That's what it is. Yeah, I said it. You YouTube fuckfaces, go back and double check. It's all been walked back. Where else did the virus come from? Alaska? No, Wuhan. All right, so I was right. And they made one hell of a virus. Okay, it shut the whole fucking world down. That wasn't made up. Okay, it's still going. It's not made up. I mean, granted, the severity of it is a lot less than what it was beforehand. That's not misinformation. That's a fact. Okay, masks and vaccines, not as effective as they said they would be. That's also a fact. I fail to see where the misinformation is. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I don't really think anybody's tuning into my show for medical advice. And if they are, well, they're fucking dumb. Okay? Speaking of cunts, funny thing happened this week. I got a guy that I do business with. And he has a girl who works for him. And her name is Kim Hunt, right? So every time this girl emails me, her email address comes up with her first initial and her last name. So it says cunt. I swear, fucking Christ, even today I got an email from her for something. I can't stop laughing every time she emails me. Like, I don't have, and she's an older lady too, which is even funnier. Like, I don't know how to like explain to this woman, you know, your email address might offend somebody. Me, it delights, but someone else might get offended. Just saying. Oh, you know, I haven't given you guys a Dunkin' Donuts episode in a while. You know, and I didn't get the broadcast last week, so I'm going to kind of mush last week and this week together. So, last week, you know, because fall is here, right? So after, like, Labor Day, and, you know, when the weather starts getting a little more crisp in the morning, I tend to not drink iced coffee first thing in the morning. Like, I walk into Dunkin' Donuts and they got my order down to a science. I don't even have to speak. Like, I wanted to do this the week before last, and I walked into the Dunkin' Donuts, and still a little warm, and I really didn't feel like talking. So, I just didn't change it. But middle of last week, I walked in, a little chilly, so I changed my coffee order, and it fucked up the entire operation. Like, I wanted hot coffee. And when I said that, the guy behind the counter began to malfunction. He's like, you hot coffee, hot coffee. Says, I'm wearing a fucking jacket. Yeah, I want hot coffee. It's chilly outside. That same week, I go into Dunkin' Donuts. And, you know how I am about people in the fucking morning. Like, I mean, don't go to Dunkin' Donuts during rush hour in the morning and order donuts, unless you know exactly what the fuck you want. So there's some fat fucking moron in front of me, right? And she's trying to figure out which 6 donuts she wants. It's only 6 donuts, okay? So what's in that? Well, what's in the? What's in an apple fritter? Apples, you fucking asshole. You want to know what's in the blueberry donut next? Because it's all self-explanatory. You don't have to be a college graduate to figure out what's in a jelly donut. I mean, is it me? I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe she was expecting something else inside the apple fritter, like ham. I don't fucking get it. So when I yelled at her, she jumped fucking 6 feet in the air. They didn't know which coffee to hand me because I changed my order. So he gives me both. Here. Give me a hot coffee and a coffee. What are you doing? Because I didn't know which one you wanted. I'm like, you could have waited for me to ask because you seem like you're in one of your moods. I'm like, I'm always in a fucking mood. Yesterday was the cake topper. Wednesday. It was Wednesday. I go into the fucking day I had Wednesday. I'll tell you guys about that in another time. But so Wednesday morning, I had some things to do. I go into Dunkin'. I'm like, my head was a little whacked out, and I'm standing there online, and my phone went off, and I'm looking down, and I happen to see what's in front of me. And just take a look at the picture, okay? What kind of fucking creature is this? You're walking around in slides with feet like that? Did you see that guy's toenail? Oh, God, I wanted to fucking break his legs. I was afraid his toenail might fly off and hit me in the face. I mean, listen, look at me. I shouldn't have to say this after September, okay? But for you fucking rejects that are running around out there that don't know no better, I'll tell you, okay? If your foot looks like that, it should not be in slides. Man, I don't even know how you wear socks. That thing is going to spear a sock. You shouldn't even be allowed out of your house. If your foot looks like you've been homeless in a forest for the last 16 months, you shouldn't be out in public. You should kill yourself. Do everybody a favor. Holy shit. Whew. Oh my God. Yeah. Fucking. Yesterday, these Teslas, I always said they're going to be a fucking problem. And yesterday was the first time. I'm right. I love when I'm right. So I'm going to the hospital to see Marie Barone, which we'll get into that at another time too. And I'm coming down, what the hell is that, Stewart Avenue? Yeah. And I'm about to make that turn onto 11th Street. And there's a turning lane, and I couldn't understand why there was fucking cars were all blocked, and now an ambulance is coming. All hell broke loose in like 3 minutes. Meanwhile, right at the end of the turning lane, there's a fucking guy in a Tesla. His lights are on. He ran out. So he fucked up traffic because his battery died. Okay, he ran out of electricity. So I have to go around him now, make an illegal maneuver, and I'm waiting to make that left, and I'm looking at them like, and my window down, and I go, would you run out of electricity? Meanwhile, he's got a car full of people. He's like, yeah. I'm like, next time, get a real fucking car, asshole. And I go around him. Now, let me explain something to you. This is what we don't understand, or what other people, aside from myself, don't understand about these electric cars. There's a meter in the car. It'll almost like a gas meter, but it'll tell you, how many miles you have until your car goes dead. Now, the problem is the car's electrical meter is displaying how long it could go based upon only one occupant in the vehicle. Okay, and here's why this makes a difference. The more people you have in the car, the more weight you add to it, the harder the engine has to work, so it's going to draw more power from the battery. You understand what I'm saying? And it's going to deplete your battery reserve faster. Now, in a gasoline-powered car, you're on E or whatever the case may be, it's not going to pull more gas. The car is going to make the same amount of power. It's just not going to have as much get up and go because you have the added weight. But it's not going to draw more gasoline. So that's a true indication of how far you can go. Like when the little computer in your car tells you how many miles you have before you're on empty, that's based on the weight of the car and everybody else in it. It doesn't matter how many other people you put in it because the engine's still going to draw the same amount of power. It's just not going to respond as quicker. Whereas an electrical car, okay, because it's got an onboard regulator. It's a computer. It's got to tell the engine how much power to draw from the battery. So if the car is heavier, it tells the computer to draw more power from the battery than usual. You see what I'm saying? Science. Okay, I know everybody's head just went, oh my God, I didn't know he was smart. Yeah, just not another pretty face. You know what I'm saying? So this fucking car dies, and I said, this is just the tip of the dick. Because this is going to be the kind of shit that happens on the fucking highway. It's going to jam up traffic. They should just get rid of these fucking battery-powered cars, okay? Because it's just stupid at this point. All right? Speaking of death, rapper Coolio died yesterday. No, Wednesday. Today's Friday. Yeah, Wednesday. I keep saying yesterday. I guess he's in Gangsta's Paradise now. Everyone, we all remember Coolio, okay? Last week, I wanted to mention this last week on the show. This tastes like coffee ice cream, which is one of my favorite ice creams. That is delicious. So a friend of mine, I forgot who, I think it was Mitz, sends me a TikTok of a midget, a Puerto Rican midget. We'll take a look. What I put it up here. Take a look at that. See that? Walking down the street, nice, mind of their own. It's cute. And then all of a sudden, first of all, if I saw this pink nightmare holding this guy up, I think I would have died laughing. The whole gripe, this woman, aside from her being 3 feet tall, I think she's like fucking me up. Her whole problem is because she said, she wouldn't have to be holding this guy up if she would have found someone her own size. And like the midget's like, well, that's my girlfriend. Maybe he likes him big, who knows? But I got to thinking, how do these little fuckers meet people? There's like if you got like a midget fetish, like I have an affinity for midgets. I'm not embarrassed to say it. Everybody knows I do. But if you want to meet a midget, how do you go about it? Like they don't hang out. Like, do they have like a midget bar? And if so, I probably can't fit because I'm too tall. So like I thought, I said, I wonder if they have like a midget dating app. Now follow me. For research purposes, I Googled this. Nothing. I don't even want to tell you what the fuck came up. But nothing about a midget dating app. I tried like the Apple Store. Nothing. So this is why I was there. I'm like, I should come up with a midget dating app. They don't have them. You put midget dating, you get all kinds of fetish bullshit. They got an app for everything. If you want to date a fucking horse, there's an app for that. You want to date a midget, you're out of luck, right? So I said, I should put together a dating app specifically for midgets. If you want to meet a midget or midgets looking for midget love, look, whatever the fuck these little bastards do. All right, you know what I'm saying? So I says, I'm going to come up with a midget dating app. Fucking idea of the century, right? Well, kids, feet, midgets, and migrants. I bet you guys missed me. Hang on, it's about to fucking get bumpy. All right, so here's one we haven't done in a while. A Cuomo update. I know. So our illustrious former governor, Andrew Nostrils Cuomo, is apparently bored with civilian life. Since leaving office, he's been taking it easy, puttering around with some projects, playing a little tuna in Tokyo with the ladies, hung out with his daughters and his family, who I'm sure are sick of him at this point. I think he's still homeless, too. Like, I think he's still couch crashing. I don't know what this fucking guy's doing. Anyway, he wants to get back into the mix of things. He did a video, I think it was Wednesday, where he says he started a political action committee to help elect the right people in politics He's just going after fucking Tish James. This guy's he's still holding a heart on. And you know something? I don't think he's wrong about that. God help me, I keep saying it. I don't know if this pack is for just New York or, just politics in general. It wasn't really specific. But my favorite part is, wait for it, I mean, because he's clearly beyond inspired by the Friday wrap-up that I'm actually almost a little flattered. I mean, that he's starting his own weekly podcast. He should call it See You Next Tuesday. Get it? See, because of Cuomo. See you next Tuesday. Can't get it? Anyway, so it's funny because I suggested he do something like this. I think it was last year on my last Cuomo update, because I think that's the last time I did one. So I'm glad he listened. Who knew he was a fan? Listen, I would fucking love to have him on as a guest on the show, or at least an interview. And then I could, that would, because I wouldn't ask him anything political. Because clearly on politics, we'll never agree. I'd ask him the shit that everybody really wants to know. Like, what's his favorite pickup line? Maybe give him a couple of pointers. What does he like to cook after he plays Tune in Tokyo? Like, he's a car guy. He owns a Harley. So, I mean, we have a little symmetry there, I mean, but, yeah, I would absolutely love to fucking, matter of fact, I'm a scumbag. I would interview him, like, in a singles bar. Aren't they all singles bar? But I would have, like, I would want, like, women walking past him just to see where his eyes go and what happens. Oh, dude, I'd totally set this guy up. Like, on a nice, nice way. So, Nostrils, get in touch with me if you want to be on the show. I'll even promote your show on it. That's the kind of guy I am. All right, so, on another Biden blunder, oh, God, this fucking old bastard never seems to disappoint. So at a food insecurity conference at the White House yesterday, Joe Biden took a minute to acknowledge one of the bill's co-sponsors, a Republican congresswoman by the name of Jackie Walorski. So he went on to say, "Where's Jackie? Are you here, Jackie?" The problem is, Congresswoman Walorski is fucking dead. This woman died in a car accident last month. And he's looking for her in the crowd. Listen, either people forget to tell him stuff because they're too busy trying to keep him from wandering off into a bush or something, or he's just fucking brain dead. I mean, my guess is the latter. I mean, he once asked a cripple in a wheelchair to stand up and take a bow. Like, I don't. His brain is dead. It's like dead on arrival. You know something? I actually feel bad for his wife, Jill. If you look at this woman, she looks exhausted. She's like, you can see her roots growing out. It looks like she's fed up. I mean, she's probably drinking out of the fucking toilet. He's a disaster, this guy. Holy shit. Okay, kids, get your tickets out. We're about to hop onto that maniacal, magical express into mayhem and fuckery. The crazy train's about to leave the station. All aboard! Woo-hoo! First stop, New York City. Kinda. So, Mayor Motherfucker recently went to Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic to look at hurricane damage and then sun his balls. So, why is this man, he's the mayor of New York City. You're not the president, you're not the governor. What the fuck are you doing in Puerto Rico? And then you got to fly to the Dominican Republic to look at hurricane damage? Please, this fucking guy. Why don't you worry about all the crime and the homeless? A guy went fucking wild last week at a McDonald's, swinging an axe, okay? Some other fucking aborigine kicked the shit out of some poor lady in the fucking subway. 30-something years old, this poor girl, she's going to work, right? This fucking psycho who they let out, bail reform, all this other shit, you think he was out on a murder charge, just for no reason, unprovoked, grabbed this woman and started kicking her in the fucking face. Now she's going to lose her eye, all right? Why don't we worry about this shit instead of going to Puerto Rico? We going to help you out in Puerto Rico, because New York's Shut the fuck up. This guy only went there because he got a free trip to Puerto Rico and then the Dominican Republic. Okay? This big-lipped motherfucker. That motherfucker, he looked like a fucking suction cup. His lips around 15 minutes before the rest of them done. That's true, Pops. He does. That motherfucker looked like Mushmouth from Fat Albert. You know what I'm saying? Hey. It's Fat Albert. Hey, you remember that show? I remember that show. And then Bill Cosby, when he went and he drugged all them white girls and rubbed his dick on them, He gave him a coke and a smile, It's true. He looks like fucking Mushmouth. Now, I know this next stop, Martha's Vineyard. It was a little late in the game because it happened like a week before last, but it just delighted me so much I needed to fucking mention it. So, could we please talk about Ron DeSantis? I love this fucking guy. He's got balls, man. So he sent 50 plus migrants to Martha's Vineyard. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Martha's Vineyard, it's where the elite liberals like to vacation and holiday. I mean, the Obamas live there. The Kennedys are known for it. I mean, all these elite liberal fucks that, look down their nose at everybody and like to call everyone racist and this and that and this because it doesn't affect them. That's where they like to go. So it's virgin territory. It's untouched. DeSantis sends 50 migrants to Martha's Vineyard, and these libtards went fucking insane. As soon as they got off the bus, they started punching themselves in the neck. They couldn't function. Like, we're all sucked up now. We have all our staff for the season. Like, they didn't know what to do with them. They called in the National Guard. In 44 hours, these people fucking vanished. They disappeared. Okay? And then they call us racist? Huh? Panic. And they're calling DeSantis an asshole for doing this. I think he's fucking brilliant. I love this guy. Listen, if Trump doesn't run, I want DeSantis to run. As a matter of fact, I've said this before. I'll say it one more time. If they're smart, they'll run a Trump-DeSantis ticket. You can't fucking lose. Because if DeSantis challenges Trump for the primary, it's going to work out well for Rob DeSantis because he's going to lose half of his support. Because half of the people that like him also like Trump. Okay? So if there's any Republicans on the fence about Trump, they'll gravitate towards DeSantis. But for the most part, they have the same supporters. So if he tries to challenge Trump, he'll fucking lose. But if they're smart, they'll combine. You run a Trump-DeSantis ticket, it's unstoppable. Unfucking stoppable. Okay? Nobody could do anything fugazi enough to, make the results of that election skewed. Okay? Even if they did, they still wouldn't be able to do it big enough. So that would be a Republican legacy there. Follow me. You run a DeSantis-Trump ticket, right? They win. Trump does his 2 terms. That's 8 years. Okay, on top of the 4 that he did, before. So he's out. DeSantis steps in, runs for president. Okay, wins. It's another fucking 2 terms. Okay, so that's 16 years of pure Republican bliss. But these are 2 of the renegade Republicans. These are the ones you want because they're outside the box. This guy's got fucking ball. I mean, if I didn't know better, I'd think he's from Brooklyn. He sent them all to fucking Martha's Vineyard. Love it. Love it. It's a good job, Gov. Speaking of Florida, next stop, Florida. So let's talk about Hurricane Ian for a second here. It's a shame what happened in Florida. I mean, I know some people in Florida, thank God they're okay. But here's what I always say about Florida. If you're on the east coast of Florida, so you're okay. You don't get slammed as bad as you do. And if you do, it's like it's not. You don't get hurricanes like you do on the west side. Because that's along the Gulf. So all of those things come up the Gulf Stream. They pick up speed, and boom. By the time they get into Central Florida, it gets downgraded. Usually by the east side, it's okay. So I always say, if you're going to move to Florida, move to the East Coast. Vacation on the West Coast. When I retire, whenever the fuck that happens, it's Daytona for me, baby. All right, but it was a terrible thing. A lot of people, a lot of damage. A lot of people lost their homes and stuff. And even if they had flood insurance, it ain't much. So I feel bad for them. But leave it to the left to make this a political thing. The Democrats blamed the Republicans for the fucking hurricane. I'm sure it was Trump's fault too. Okay, because they said climate change. This is how fucking retarded everybody is. Okay. It's weather. They call it weather because it's going to happen whether you want it to or not, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's weather. Okay, that you can't change it. You can't stop it. You can't help it. Nothing you do today is going to affect the fucking weather tomorrow. Okay? I hate to break this to you fucking retards. All right, kids, let's talk about some sports, all right? So as you can see, I'm rocking the fucking Judge jersey today. So, Yankees clinched the American League East. No one's more fucking surprised than me. Okay, they did that on Tuesday, and Judgy tied Roger Maris's record on Wednesday. Okay, he finally hit 61 against Toronto. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it took this long to do it, but he's definitely going to beat the record. You got a lot of baseball before the end of the season. Matter of fact, the Yankees start their series against the Orioles tonight at 7:05. So don't be surprised, Judge slams number 62 within the series. So good job, Aaron Judge. I mean, listen, he's been the fucking bright star of the Yankees season. Okay, yeah, even though they clinched the AL East, Boone practically gave him a hand job in the dugout after he cracked 61, because it's probably the only thing that's going to save Boone's fucking contract if the Yankees don't, if they come up short during the playoffs. But they at least clinched the AL East, so that's good. Mets, who also clinched the playoff spot, okay, will be playing the Braves at 7:20 tonight, and the Phils play the Nats at 7:05, and they clinched nothing. Those poor Phillies. Okay, NFL. God almighty. Did we see the Giants game on Monday? Look, I don't have any delusion thinking the Giants were going to be fucking undefeated this year, okay? But to ask them to go 3-0 wasn't really much. I mean, They had that fucking game. They should have won that fucking game, and it was just out of pure stupidity and inconsistency on the fucking offense that they lost. Okay? That's really what it was. They made some dumb moves, some stupid penalties, and it cost them in the end. These are divisional games. Okay? You have to win these fucking games. You have to beat the Cowboys. You have to beat the fucking Redskins, Foreskins, Washington football team, Commanders, Sisters, whatever the fuck they're calling themselves today. The Eagles. You gotta, these are division games. You gotta fucking dominate these. Okay, to hell with the rest of the shit. Inexcusable. So, Giants play the Bears on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Jets and Steelers Sunday at 1. Saints and Vikings Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Yep, that's right. You heard me. Why they're playing at 9:30 in the morning, I'm not quite sure. I don't recall ever seeing maybe I do. I don't know. I can't remember what the hell I did 20 minutes ago. But it's not very often you see a football game at 9:30 in the morning, unless they're playing in like London or something, which I don't think it's too soon for that. And then you got your Bills and Ravens Sunday at 1. There's no fucking good games on at 4 o'clock. That drives me. That was last week too. It was like that. Fucking annoying. Okay, NHL preseason hockey is back. Thank God. All right, so thank the hockey gods. Rangers and Devils tonight at 7 o'clock. And Islanders and Flyers Sunday at 7. Incidentally, the Rangers played the Islanders, it was Monday. Yeah, because that was a big sports night. They played the Islanders on Monday, and they fucking crushed them. So, and this is only preseason hockey. So I know not to get too excited, but it's still hockey. Okay? All right. Oh, and what the fuck is that? We're going to talk about sexy adult diapers. That's right, you heard me. So the other day, I'm shopping. I was in the store. And I saw this, and I'm thinking to myself, I guess for the seniors that are still fucking but might piss themselves when they fart. And listen, you could easily find these on Amazon for whatever reason. Now, if you need some suggestions on how to rock sexy adult diapers, don't worry. Uncle Tommy's got you covered. Take a look at some of these. Huh? All right, kids, on Right or Racist. As of 2015, there are about 500 white billionaires compared to the only 2 black billionaires in the U.S. Now, I know one of those black billionaires. That would be Michael Jordan. Not quite sure who the second one is, and I really didn't think to Google it. But that's right. That's why most of your friends are white. Anyway, the PSA. There's a lot of things that irritate me, especially this last 2 weeks, but this is one of those things that keeps popping up, and it's like, it's enough now, okay? Overly religious nutcases. Look, when it comes to religion, I have my own thoughts about it. You want to believe in fairy tales, that's up to you. I don't tell people what their faith should be, what they should believe in, what they don't want to believe in. That's totally up to you. But there are some people who are a little fucking over the top with this shit. And something, they think it's okay, and it's not okay. You irritate regular people like me. So, for example, people who just start singing Jesus songs for no reason. They just, "Oh, Jesus is my savior." Or they start telling you about their faith. Unsolicited, they start telling you why they love Jesus and think, who the fuck cares? Shut the fuck up. Okay? The other day, I'm going to get groceries. I go to that little Italian supermarket that I go to in the neighborhood. And there's a car, when I pull into the parking lot, it's a whole shopping center there, right? So to pull into the lot, there's this little hatchback, little Japanese car, and it's got, oh my God, it's got scriptures written all over it, and they glued like a crucifix to the fucking, the roof. And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of fucking psycho is driving this thing around? And then I found out. I go into the store. I'm standing behind the fucking meat counter. I'm at the meat counter at Eastern Meats, right? Waiting to get my cold cuts and shit. And wouldn't you know it, the fucking crazy lady who owns that car has to end up right behind me at the fucking deli counter. Okay? And then she started blessing people and quoting the Bible to me. Now, this is what I mean about random people, just when they start talking to me. I always look pissed off. I know I don't look approachable. Okay? I do not look like the person you want to discuss Jesus with. All right? Okay, maybe the other guy, but not Jesus. So when random people just start talking to me out of the blue, I know they need to be fucking medicated. This woman clearly needed to be medicated and stuck in a fucking rubber room. I wanted to bang her across the teeth with a fucking salami. Okay? I just wouldn't shut up. If you're overly religious, keep it to yourself. Nobody fucking cares. Okay? Stay COVID-less, kids. No mask, don't ask, haters can kiss my ass. And remember, who loves you, babe? It's been your Friday wrap-up, and I'll see you when I see you.